Hello, friends. Welcome back to the School of Self-Worth. I am your host, Nicole Song. Today, we get to talk about a situation that occurs for so many Asian American women leaders. The situation is when you are in the room and they're still not asking for your opinion. If this has ever happened to you, you do not want to miss today's episode. This one is designed exactly for you. And if you are an Asian American leader who wants a seat at the table where strategy, influence, and leadership decisions are happening, grab a seat in my Asian Authority Sprint. The link is in the show notes. Okay, friends, let's dive in. Have you ever been in a meeting where the conversation directly impacts your work, your team, all the projects that you've been focusing on, and then the decision makers, the leaders, the C suite executives ask someone else in that room what they're thinking about the situation? That moment is not random. It tells you so much. It's giving you so much information about how exactly leadership is experiencing you as an authority in your own space. So there is a leadership trap that almost nobody is talking about. And that is about how the people who work the hardest do not always become the people that leadership trusts the most. So this was happening for one of my clients. And let me tell you, she was so frustrated. She is a director level and she's leading a team of 30 people. And the conversation was directly impacting her team. And she was sitting right there, but she still was not getting asked what she thought. So you might be wondering what is really going on here in that situation. Part of the problem is this, that high performers are so good at being reliable. You work hard. You might even be on the workaholic spectrum. You get so much done. You can execute brilliantly. You work insane hours. So bosses have come to trust that you will do those things, that you are a great person to receive really big projects. They know that you will manage it so well and get to the other side. But that doesn't mean that when they're in a situation where they're trying to figure out a bigger strategic direction and they're going beyond execution, they're going beyond who's going to get the work done, who's going to get the outcomes that we're looking for, they think of you as that person who's doing all of those things. But when they're really looking to set that bigger picture vision, you are not the person who gets a say in what is getting chosen. You're not the person who is getting your voice heard about the priority for that bigger element of your team, your division, your company. There is a difference between being trusted to execute, to put things out there to get it done, and being trusted as an authority, as a leader in the space that you exist in. And a big part of that really is when you have learned, probably as a child, to be a high performer, you actually had to be really reliable for all of these things to happen. And when you are a reliable person, this is the definition of success, typically for Asian families, is, you get the grades, you do everything that you're supposed to do, you follow the rules. And when you do all of that, you get seen as reliable. You're someone they know that they can count on, and you know that this equates success. So when you're young, this is how you start to build this notion of what success looks like. And then you bring it into the workplace and it helps you advance. It works. Being reliable is an excellent way to see yourself if you want to make progress, especially earlier in your career. The thing is, when you become somebody who executes really well, and I'd love for you to think about somebody who executes really well. It could be somebody on your team, somebody you know well, and you're like, wow, I really don't understand why they don't value this person more. Or maybe you don't value this person as a strategic thinker. And it's really because they have become so ingrained in this identity of execution. And so Now, we're looking at this place where you want to be seen as a leader. You want to be looked at for your discernment, for your perspective, for your ability to set the direction. And when you have so many years of experience, you have this leadership already inside of you, you have this available, and yet nobody is drawing it out. So it's really similar to being the person, so for example, who decides where the vacation is going to be versus the person who books the hotel, the restaurants, the activities. There is nothing wrong with being the person who books a hotel, does all of that stuff. I love doing those things. But it's not the powerful position of being the person who decides where the vacation is. Going to Hawaii is a huge gap in difference from going to Portugal. Like, where is the vacation going to be? And then being the person who books everything. And they're both important roles, but only one is shaping the direction, the energy, the vibe of that experience. So, the biggest thing that is missing really for you is your sense of ownership and power in that particular situation. And without it, you can start to feel frustrated, feel stressed because you're like, what's the point of everything that I'm doing? I'm just executing all the time and I get no say in that bigger picture. And a lot of people think that authority comes with big decisions, that what's missing is you are not being asked to make those big decisions. And so that's why you're lacking authority and respect in your workplace. But it's actually not those high stakes situations where things can change and things can shift. Outsourcing your authority and your power is really happening all the time in small incremental moments. And it over time, this starts to compound. So it's happening before you speak, it's happening while you're framing your thinking, and it's also happening right after you say anything. So, in that really micro moment is when you're being assessed, and you might not even realize that this is occurring. Here's the way you know if this is happening is based on the feedback that you're receiving from your boss. And especially if you're getting pretty vague feedback, like be more strategic, have more executive presence. If you've heard that consistently for a few years now, and it's maybe happening even from multiple bosses, you know that you're actually not stepping forward into your power, into your authority as a leader. Because that feedback is not actually telling you to be somebody else. It's telling you that your leadership is not experiencing you that way yet. And over time, this frankly can feel pretty exhausting. You're like, you're capable of more. You know that you have insights and vision that you're not able to voice or you're not really having conversations about it, but you're still being experienced at a lower level, no matter what your title is. So, as you all likely know, it's not about working harder, and working harder is not going to give you this outcome. This is the thing that will matter, changing how your leadership is experienced in real time. And on top of that, understanding where authority comes from. And it is not going to come from other people. It's going to come from something that has to shift within you. So when we're understanding this, the cool thing is, wow, how much power is there and available for you when that shift has to come within? And what exactly is that shift? How to learn to shift yourself, to step into that bigger picture for yourself. All of these things are what I teach and talk about inside the Strategic Authority Sprint, which is happening right now. So if if you're listening to this on the day that the podcast drops, you still have a chance to get in. So make sure you go into the show notes and grab it. And even if you're listening to this at a later time, there's so much value in there. Go grab a seat, listen to what we're talking about, and really learn how to shift these patterns in real time so that your leadership starts to experience you as the strategic authority that you already are. So make sure you go into the show notes below and grab a seat. And thank you all so much for listening today. I can't wait to see you in the sprint, and I'll see you again next week on the School of Self-Worth.